speak, it is called Super Bowl Sunday, at least in the English-speaking world. And even if you've never watched the Super Bowl or don't want to watch the Super Bowl, you probably know that the best part of the Super Bowl is not the game, which could be better or worse. It's the ads. Super Bowl ads, they dominate the media landscape. Buy this, get that, this funny ad, that crazy ad. People talk about ads for weeks in advance. How do you combat that as a Jewish parent, as a Jew? How do you deal with this bombardment of wanting things, of desire, of wanting to buy things, especially in light of the message that we see in this week's parsha in the Aseret HaDibrot, in the Ten Commandments? Hi everybody, this is Reuven Spolter with your weekly Kitah lesson, which we're going to look inside in the Aseret HaDibrot, in the Ten Commandments, and we're going to see how the Rabbi Ibn Ezra explains how we deal with one of the Aseret HaDibrot, one of the Ten Commandments. Let's take a look inside at the text. So when we look at the Aseret HaDibrot, the Ten Commandments, we know the popular ones: don't kill, don't steal, honor your parents, the Shabbat. Number 10 is what we call lo tachmod. Lo tachmod, you shall not covet. Covet is a fancy word for saying you shouldn't want something. What shouldn't you want? Lo tachmod beit re'echa. You shouldn't want your friend or your neighbor's house. Lo tachmod eshet re'echa. You shouldn't want his wife. Va'avdo, or his servant. Va'amato, his maidservant. V'shoro v'chamor, or his shore, his ox, or his donkey. V'chol asher l're'echa, and everything that belongs to him. You should not covet. You shouldn't want other people's stuff. And if you think about it, this is a really, really hard, it's one of the 10 Commandments. But this is probably one of the more difficult ones, one of the more challenging ones. I could call this. How are we supposed to learn to control our desires? And to answer this question, I brought for you the commentary of the Ibn Ezra on the Torah. I'm not going to read the whole thing. And he says, Anashim rabim yitmu'u al zot mitzvah. Many people wonder about this commandment. Ech yiyeh adam shelo yachmod davar yafeh belibo. How is it possible that a person shouldn't have desire something nice in his heart? Kol mashu nichmad l'mar'ei. I think that's beautiful. You watch the Super Bowl and they show you this amazing car and go on that vacation and you want to drink that beer. Well, drink the beer. Or whatever, eat that pizza. So he says, I'll tell you, I'm not going to read it inside, but I'm going to tell you the mashal. He says, listen, there's a person who comes from the village and he goes to the village and he sees the daughter of the king, the princess. He says, does he really think that he has any chance of marrying the princess? You have no shot. I mean, I know like Disney likes to think, Aladdin, you get to be with the princess. You have no shot. It's not in the real world. It's not going to happen. And he doesn't think it's going to happen. He shouldn't think that he's one. He's crazy. He should have wings to fly. I'm going to sprout wings and fly. You're not crazy, he says, because there's like he says a realistic perspective of what's reasonable for you to have and what's just beyond the pale. It's not reasonable. So he says, if just like everybody thinks in that way, the Ibn Ezra says, we understand that there's a possibility, and we're not going to be Bill Gates. We're not going to be that person. We have a reasonable level of expectations. Says the Ibn Ezra, person's expectation should be ka'asher chalak lo Hashem, what God gives you. And he says, you know that if your neighbor married a woman, God didn't give you that woman. It's beyond your parameter. It's not your parameter. That's not what God gave you. If God gave you a certain material ability, then you want to have a private jet. That's fine, but it's not what He has chosen to give you. Okay. Therefore, He says, "V'lo yasim el libo lachmor litavod davar she'ino shalo." You should not covet or want something that isn't yours. Ki yada she'Hashem lo ratzah letet lo, because you know that's not something that God wanted to give you. I think this is something that's meaningful for all of us, whether we watch the Super Bowl or not, where you see the ads or not. Truthfully, there's two kinds of things. One is something that's within my reach. Do I want to buy the new car or do I not want to buy the new car? And we should be aware that Lo Tachmod tells us you shouldn't just want things and want things and want things. I tell my children, one of the things we tell our children is we don't buy the things we want very often so that we'll have money for the things that we need. And that's something that I think that people, if you're a child listening to this, you understand. You can't have everything you want. You can't buy everything you want because you need to save for the things that you need. But I think there's another level as well. And there's a show that I got into on Netflix called Dream, multi-million-dollar home makeover or whatever. And it's fun to watch these people's crazy houses and how she, decorates the houses and the incredible furniture and the beautiful basketball courts. And it's fun to watch. But there's two ways to watch it. One is, oh, I want that house. Or, oh, that's interesting. I could decorate my house. I could do something. I could learn something from that. And it's really hard to have, on the one hand, a sense of watching things in a culture that teaches us to want more and more and more. But at the same time, remember the message of lo tachmod. You don't need to want more. You need to accept and be happy with that which God gives us. That's an important lesson and a hard lesson that you can enjoy and try to internalize as you're watching the Super Bowl. Have a great week.